Julie's going to be performing a quad dominant exercise. We're going to be performing squat variations, but it's important if you're new to squatting that you make sure you have the proper range of motion, because we will be deep knee bending. Okay, so the first thing we're going to work on is hip mobility. Julie's going to be performing a sumo squat to the stand. So very simple. She's going to look forward. She's going to bend at the waist, keeping her knees soft or slightly bent. She's going to grab her toes. She's going to slowly lower her hips into a squat, making sure her elbows fall between the knees, and she's going to apply a little bit of pressure outward against the knees with the elbows to open those hips up. And what you're also going to do is make sure you take deep breaths in this position. Okay, that's going to help you loosen your hips up. So you're going to take really deep breaths, making sure your belly is expanding as you inhale. The next step here, she's going to raise her hips up. We're essentially just reversing the movement here, straightening the knees. We're getting a nice stretch through the hamstrings as well. She's going to stand up to complete the movement. Okay, one more time. In real time, she's going to grab her toes, sit down, look forward, push the knees out with the elbows, take a couple deep breaths. And you can also do a little bit of prying those hips open. So she's going to place her hands together. Her forearms are going to create a nice straight line, pushing out against the knees. And she's just going to trace the figure 8 with her knees. All right, the heels are going to come up. That's okay. Make sure you flatten your heels before you stand back up. Making sure, go ahead and stand up. Very good. Now, level 2, we're going to get the kettlebell involved. So Julie's going to stand directly over the kettlebell. And what she's going to do is she's going to bring the kettlebell up in one motion using both hands. So she's going to get down in a deadlift position. So she's going to hinge her hips back, hands on top of the bell. In one motion, she's going to bring her hands to the horns or the bottom of the handle. Go ahead. Okay. So the kettlebell is directly in front of the chest, actually, and the handle is right in front of the chin. She's going to sit her hips back, so the hips are going to travel backwards. She's going to place her elbows right inside the knees. Her heels stay down, okay? And she's going to stand back up, pressurizing her breathing. Good. Perform one more rep. Notice how her hips and shoulders come down at the same time, at the same rate, and they also come back up at the same rate. And to set the bell down, you reverse the movement, bringing your hands from the horns to the top of the bell. Now for level 3, the third progression here, we're just going to add another movement in here. So what Julie's going to do is she's going to squat down like we did during the prayer squat position, or sumo squat to stand. She's going to place her thumbs through the front of the handle, reverse grip, bracing her elbows against her knees. She's going to curl the weight up, and then she's going to stand straight up. Remember, hips and knees arrive at the top at the same time, and her elbows stay tight to her body. She reverse the movement. The elbows go right back to the legs, or just inside the knees. The bell comes down, the elbows extend as she places the bell down. One more rep, curl it up. Brace your core here, and stand straight up. Notice that she pressurizes her breathing during both exercises. And she stands up. Good.